And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to we'll call it a press box for today here at Pine City High School, where we are getting set, finally getting set for some baseball action here on WCMP. I, of course, am Ethan Game Day Gilman, and man, oh man, have I been waiting a while to finally be able to come out here and call some games, get out here and spend some time outside, enjoy the weather, the sun, and get away from the snow. But we are just about set for first pitch here at Pine City High School, where the Dragons and East Central Eagles are going to go at it. This game has been changed from a doubleheader to a 7-inning single game, and on the mound for the Pine City Dragons here today is going to be Nick Plajic starting on the mound, and coming up to bat first, the leadoff for the East Central Eagles is going to be Kyle McDonald. He'll play shortstop today for these East Central Eagles. And Nick Plajic with the windup, and the first pitch is swung on and missed by Kyle McDonald. So the game gets off to a swing and a miss. First pitch by Kyle McDonald. And it's now an 0-1 count for the leadoff batter. Plajic 0-1. That one's going to be outside for ball one. So 1-1 now the count for Kyle McDonald here, sitting at Pine City High School at the baseball fields. And again, this is our first broadcast of the season, so happy to be out here with you. That one's going to be outside as well for ball two. 2-1 now the count for Kyle McDonald after swinging on his first pitch and missing. Plajic settles in. Here's the windup and the pitch. That one swung on and missed as well by McDonald, so now the count runs to 2-2 for the leadoff battle. McDonald, who again will be playing that shortstop position, sitting just under 60 degrees here. We've got a nasty breeze out here today for this game, as Plajic's fifth pitch goes low for McDonald, so it's a full count now, 3-2. Plajic with the windup and the pitch. That one's going to be in there. Just got him, and he'll go down looking. So Kyle McDonald goes down looking on a pitch that looked like it might be a little low in the zone. He was not too happy with the strike call, but it is a strikeout, and strikeout number one for Nick Plajic, as that brings up to the plate Graydon Swenson. He'll be playing first base today, wearing that number 1 for the Eagles. First pitch to him is low and in the dirt for ball one. 1-0 now the count for the number 2 batter, Graydon Swenson. That one he gets right back to the pitcher, Plajic, and he nabs it. Wow, that one was a missile coming back to Nick Plajic, and he just handled it with ease, making it look easy. So a line drive to the pitcher, and that is out number 2. Nick Plajic with the quick reaction, and all of a sudden it's 2 up and 2 down so far for the Eagles. First pitch is in there for strike one to the pitcher today for the East Central Eagles, number 4, Dalton Slama. He'll take a first pitch looking. Plajic with the 0-1 count, fouls it off to Slama. So down 0-2 with 2 out for the Eagles here in the top of the first inning. Dalton Slama trying to get something going for these Eagles. That one's in there for strike 3. He'll go down looking, will Dalton Slama. So 3 up, 3 down go the Pine City Dragons, and Nick Plajic with 2 strikeouts there in this top of the first inning, and even made a line-out grab there as Graydon Swenson got that one right back to him, and he just nabbed it with that left-handed glove and said, "Not today, sir." So 3 up, 3 down go the East Central Eagles. They'll go out onto defense as we'll get ready for the bottom here of this first inning, Now, again, it has been a while since I've called a game. It's been, I think, since March, beginning of March, was the last winter sports game I called. So if I'm a little rusty, I apologize. It has been a while. But we're finally back out here at Pine City High School for this conference game between the Pine City Dragons and East Central Eagles. Again, this one has been changed from a doubleheader to a single 7-inning game. Sadly, the Eagles are only carrying 9 players today, so unfortunately for them, they're only carrying 9 with them there today. But hopefully they'll be able to get more than that in the games up and coming for them. But for the Dragons, we take a look at them on the mound for the Eagles. I should mention, again, it is going to be Dalton Slama who went down looking in his at-bat. The Pine City Dragons right now, who play in Section 7 AA, are sitting in 4th place. They're 5-1 overall and 2-1 in the section. Top of the section right now is Pequot Lakes and Esco Rockridge also up there in 3rd. It's a stacked section once again, but Pine City year in and year out has just been very good in this section, even though it is packed with talent. So we're getting set for the bottom of the first inning after the Eagles go 1, 2, 3. Two of them went down looking, and then a line out from Swenson back at Nick Plajic, who had the quick reaction to nab it for the second out. It was an impressive first inning. It looked like that Swenson might get that one past Plajic, but again, he was ready for that one, and he said, no, not in my house. You're not getting that one by me, and that's a good thing, too, because that would have been a base hit, but he, with the quick reaction, made sure the Eagles did not get anything on the bases. So as we get ready for this bottom of the first, no score between these two teams. Looking at the lineup here, and the leadoff batter for the Pine City Dragons is going to be number 14, Mason Charles. And then after that, it'll be Bryce Erickson. Recognize him from football. So the pitcher, Dalton Slama, getting his last couple warm-up pitches in before we see the top of the order here for the Pine City Dragons. The leadoff, Mason Charles, number 14. Looks like Slama will throw this last one, and we'll get our leadoff. That wind kicking up just a little bit here. I was out earlier hitting some softballs for softball later tonight with Joshua Miron. Not that anybody cares, but hey, I got to keep active too. As now we get Mason Charles into the box. Almost. 2.5. 3. There we go. Charles is into the batter's box. He'll be the leadoff for the Pine City Dragons, playing out in right field here today. Slama's first pitch is swung on and missed by Charles for strike number 1. Oh, 1 the count now for Charles. Here's the windup in the pitch. It's going to be bouncing to the catcher, and that'll be ball 1, so count moves to 1-1. The catcher here today for, the East Central Eagles is going to be number 12, Reese Youngberg. He's back there catching for the Eagles. 1-1 the count now for Mason Charles. Slama gets set. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be bouncing to the catcher again for a 2-1 count. Youngberg doing a good job, though, keeping that one in front of him, and that's kind of the thing with baseball is, as a catcher, you always got to, even when there's nobody on base, you always want to make sure you're keeping that thing in front of you, because when the real thing comes, you want to be ready. The 2-1 pitch is just a tad high for a 3-1 count to Mason Charles. So 3-1 for Charles. Slama with the windup and the pitch. It's going to bounce, and that will send Charles to first base. So 1 on, nobody out, and the number 2 batter is Bryce Erickson, playing out in left field today. Left-handed batter steps into the batter's box. Erickson gets set. Slama checks over at Charles on first. Slama with the pitch. Runner steals, and Charles got a good enough jump to where Youngberg didn't even attempt the throw down to second, so Charles steals second on a beautiful jump. Now, I did not see if that was a strike or not, so I apologize. Oh, and this one's going to hit Erickson, so it doesn't even matter, because that one's going to nail Erickson in the side. He takes it like a champ and walks on down to first. So runners on first and second here for the Dragons, and Charles stole second. And now the number 3 batter is going to be Isaiah Haas, playing over at first base. Haas, a very powerful hitter. We see him with the Dragons and with the Hinckley Knights during the summer. We've seen him knock in plenty of runs. He swings, and big miss there on that one. 0-1 will be his count. He was trying to drive in a couple of runs early here in this game. Trying to give his team a lead. 2 runners on, nobody out. Slama's pitch is high. It goes over the catcher's head, and that will advance the base runners to second and third now. So second and third base is occupied by Dragons. First base is wide open now for Isaiah Haas as he now deals with a 1-1 count. You might be able to hear that wind, if not that wind picking up. Looks like it's blowing to right field right now. So it's to the back of the batters in their favor. That one's going to be inside for ball 2. 2-1 count now for Isaiah Haas, wearing that number 16 jersey. Slama gets set. Here's the windup and the pitch. Swung on, and Haas got a piece of it, but he's going to roll foul on the opposite side. So now it goes to 2-2 the count for Isaiah Haas. And I got to imagine it's not easy pitching out there in the wind like this. Got to worry about the wind, and I'm sure it has some effect on the pitches, and especially when it's blowing at the batter's back, you always got to be careful because you don't want them swinging yard. And that pitch is swung on and fouled off down the left, well, down Haas's left-handed line, but it's the third base line. 2-2, still the count for Isaiah Haas. Bottom of the first inning, nobody out for Pine City, and Haas at the plate. Gets a piece of this one and fouls it off, just off home plate. A roll and it'll be picked up. So another ball fouled off, and how many times have we seen, in baseball alone, whatever level it is, that, a pitcher and a batter get into a duel like this, and all of a sudden the batter fouls off, 4 or 5 pitches, and all of a sudden the batter gets a hold of one and really knocks it out, either out of the park or out for a couple of runs, batted in. Looks like Slama wants a new ball. He'll get that new ball after that ball. So 3-2, a full count now for Isaiah Haas. And if he gets the 4th ball, it's going to be bases loaded for Nick Plajek, the pitcher. Slama with the pitch. That one's going to be low, and that will be a walk for Isaiah Haas down to first base. 3 walks to begin this inning for the Eagles, and Slama a little bit frustrated right now. But as a pitcher, one thing you got to make sure you do is just have a short memory. That one is swung on and hit by Nick Plajek out to right field. It's going to get over the head of the right fielder, and that could empty the bases. 1 run will come across. Plajek pushing for 2. He'll get into second, standing up, and the run will come home from first. So that clears the bases on the cleanup batter, Nick Plajek. He sends 3 home for an early 3-0 lead for the Dragons. A stand-up RBI double, 3-run double there for Nick Plajek. And the score is now 3-0 in favor of Pine City. Now at the plate, watching that first pitch go by, is center fielder Riley Cummings. He watches that one go by for strike number 1. 3-0 is your score after a Nick Plajek 3-run RBI double. 3-run double. I guess I don't need the RBI in there when I... That one's going to be outside for ball 1 to Cummings. So 1-1 now the count. Still nobody out for Pine City with a runner on second. That's Nick Plajek, who just cleared the bases to make it a 3-0 lead. Slama will check on Plajek at second. The pitch is in. Swung on and missed up high by Cummings. And he'll now deal with a 1-2 count. Cummings with a 1-2 count. Slama with the pitch. That one's going to be low in the dirt. It bounces just past Youngberg, and Plajek will advance to third. So that ball gets away from Youngberg. He's a little bit frustrated with himself there, but still early in this one, so no need to panic if you're the Eagles. We've seen plenty of times. That first inning goes way wrong, and then all of a sudden the next 2-3 are really good for one team, and then the other team seems to go on a slide. So early struggles here for East Central, but plenty of game left to overcome these. Cummings, I believe it's 2-2 now. That one's high. Cummings, nobody out. He's got a runner on third. That's Nick Plajek. Pitch from Slama's in the dirt. And that will be ball 4. So Cummings heads to first on a walk. And out of the, well, let's see, 5 batters faced, 4 have reached on walks. Nick Plajek was the only one who's reached on a hit so far. Now batting at the 6th spot is Elliot Blott. Plays shortstop here for the Dragons. His team dealing with a 3-0 lead, and Cummings gets a nice jump off of first, and he'll steal second. So Cummings steals second and opens up first base for Blott. I believe that was a strike in there, and he swings, hits this one to the second baseman. He'll throw it on to first in time for out number 1. They do get one runner across, though. So the RBI for Blott says that sends Plajek home. But he does get that RBI again. Ground out, but he does get the RBI to make it a 4-0 lead. And quickly to this 7th batter, it's Aiden Palmer, who plays third base here for the Dragons, wearing number 22. He watches that one go high for ball 1. A 4-0 lead here for Pine City in the bottom of the first inning. Slama struggled here in this first inning, but again, he's got plenty of time to really get things going for him. The 1-0 pitch is high again there to Palmer, and he now has a 2-0 count. That was going to be low and outside for ball 3. So Aiden Palmer deals with a 3-0 count. No, he's got 1 out, 1 out, and a runner on third. Runner on is Riley Cummings. He reached on a walk as well. Palmer will watch this one go in there for strike number 1. Hard to get a strike on 3-0 without putting it right down the middle and having the batter crush it, but nice job there by Slama to get that one in there and not have Palmer swing, and I think that was probably a no-swing situation for Palmer anyways, and that one's going to be outside for ball 4. So Palmer will reach on a walk. That's 5 walks now and 7 at-bats for the Dragons. Now at the plate is Ethan Agard playing catcher for the Dragons. He's got runners on the corners and 1 out. It's going to be just high to Agard for ball 1. One 1-0 pitch is on the way, and that one stays high for ball 2. So 2-0 the count. And the dirt bounces, but Youngberg does a nice job to grab that one. Keep it out of harm's way. So Eagles risking walking Agard. That one's outside, and it's a 4-pitch walk as Agard goes to first on a walk. Palmer moves to second, and it's Luke Wilson coming to the plate now for the Dragons. Luke Wilson playing second base today. Slama gets set, bases loaded, 1 out. Slama with the pitch. Low in the dirt. Nice job, though, by Youngberg to protect that one and keep that one in front of him, and that'll probably save a run. So 1-0 count now for Wilson. The 1-0 pitch is on the way. It's again in the dirt. Bounces past the catcher Youngberg and walking to the plate, basically. Trotting, we'll call it. But trotting to the plate is Riley Cummings. He comes home for the 5th run of the afternoon for the Dragons, who lead now 5-0 in the bottom of the first. Runners advance to second and third. Aiden Palmer at third. Ethan Agard at second. Luke Wilson gets set. Here's the pitch. Swings and fouls this one off the first base line. Got a piece of it just a little bit late. So Slamo gets set to do it again. Here's the pitch. High, and that'll be ball 3. 3-1 is the count for Luke Wilson. He's got runners on second and third in scoring position. Wilson gets a piece of that one just past the outstretched glove of the first baseman, and Wilson will reach first standing up, and the Dragons will not send another one. They'll just hold Agard at third. But it's an RBI single here for Luke Wilson. So now it's a 6-0 lead for Pine City as Mason Charles, the leadoff man, comes to the plate for the second time this inning. Bottom of the first inning still, it's a 6-0 lead for the Dragons. Wilson's going to steal second with ease, and they are going to throw it down to third. But Agard is there back in time. Good awareness by the catcher Youngberg to realize, hey, I can't get the man at second, but pump fake it down and then try and throw the runner out at third. Almost, but as they say, close but no cigar. So Mason Charles, second at bat of the inning. This one goes deep. Ooh, left field apparently too deep, and I can't even keep composure of the camera. So that one's going to bat in two. It's a 2-run double for Mason Charles. Two-run double there for Mason Charles, and that will make it 8-0 now. Now, coming to the plate, Bryce Erickson, the left-handed batter. He was hit by a pitch in his first appearance in this first inning. Yes, he has come to the plate now twice as well. That one's in there for strike one from Slama. Good comeback pitch there after giving up the 2-run double to Mason Charles. Slama checks Charles quickly at second, then throws the pitch. This one is popped up, and it is drifting into foul territory. Youngberg cannot make the play, and the wind out there is just wicked, blowing that thing back and forth. You can't blame him on that one. He really, I mean, as well as you can track the ball, it really doesn't matter because that wind is going to be throwing that thing around until it's in your glove. I mean, there's really no good way to kind of track it with this wind. It looks like it's going one way, then it bounces back the other, and it twists, it swirls, it does everything else in the book, and sometimes you just got to, and that one's okay because that was still in foul territory, so it's not going to be a base hit for Erickson, but I'm sure Youngberg would have liked to have grabbed that one and got out number 2. This one's in the dirt. Youngberg, nice job keeping that one in front of him. It's 2-2, I think. So the Slama pitch on the way. Erickson gets a piece of it. It's over the first baseman's head, rolling into the outfield. And, oh, the right fielder cannot grab it cleanly, and that's going to be an RBI double. So another run comes home here for the Dragons, as it's another RBI. And Bryce Erickson grabs a ribby. as now it's 9-0. And now to the plate is the power hitter, Isaiah Haas. He walked in his first plate appearance, and this is going to be just outside for ball one. You know, even though we're going through this lineup the second time for the Dragons, and you might think the Eagles, are just struggling, having a tough time, Slama has looked like he has improved. His pitching through the inning, as Haas got a hold of one, and everyone was keeping their eye on it, but it does drift foul down the third base line. So Haas showing off that power right there. But again, even though he has gone through now the lineup going on its second time, he has looked like he has improved his location on his pitches, as that one's going to get away from him. And leisurely jogging to third is going to be Erickson. So again, Slama hasn't had the best of starts on the mound for the Eagles, but again, maybe you look at the silver lining and say, hey, it's only the first inning, so we've got plenty of game left to correct things, and not only that, your offense has another chance. Slama with the pitch, just outside for, I think it's 2-1 now? 3-1. 3-1 the count for Isaiah Haas. That one is swung on and fouled. Haas again got a piece of that one, fouled it down the third base line. That's two pitches that Haas has really drilled. He's got on top of it just a tad early. Can't help but think if he can hold back maybe a millisecond more on those, that's a base hit. I can't see from my position how far it is, so I can't say if it's a home run or not, but got to imagine it's close with the reaction of his teammates in the dugout. Although he does see that pitch for ball four, and he'll walk to first. Runners on the corners, 1 out here for the Dragons, and time will be called by the Eagles. And while they take a quick mound visit, we'll take a quick commercial break as well.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
106.5 FM, AM 1350, and of course live with video on WCMPradio.com. We're here at Pine City High School for the game between the East Central Eagles and the Pine City Dragons. Sadly for the Eagles, though, only brought 9, unfortunately, so they cannot play a doubleheader. They're going to instead, kind enough to play one 7-inning game, so have switched it from that to that. As Plajic is at the plate, and he showed off his swing with a RBI, a 3-run double his last time at the plate. His second time around. That one's going to be high for ball 2. 2-0 count to Nick Plajic. Again, Plajic on the mound today for the Dragons to start. Slama has had a tough start to his day or afternoon, and that one's going to roll past as Haas will move on down to second. The Dragons will hold their runner at third. Really no need to advance him. I believe it's still Bryce Erickson down there. So runners in scoring position for Nick Plajic, and he's got another chance for more RBIs. Slama's pitch is on the way in the dirt, and that will be a 4-pitch walk for Plajic, and Erickson comes home as that's a pass ball. So Erickson gets home twice, and Plajic walks. So it is a 10-0 lead for the Dragons here in the bottom of the first. And again, it is 10-run rule after 5 innings, so if they can hold on to this 10-run lead, it would be over after the top of the 5th. That one's going to be high to the next batter, which is Riley Cummings for ball 1. Runners at first and third, it looks like, I believe. Yes. Runners are on the corners for the Dragons with Cummings at the plate. Slama. And Cummings gets a hold of this one out to right field. That one's deep, and it's going to get down for a base hit. And he's going to round first and head for 2, and that will be an RBI double for Riley Cummings. So an RBI double for Riley Cummings. Gets another runner home, and it is 11-0 in favor of the Dragons here only in the bottom of the first. First pitch here to Elliot Blotz. His second time at the plate in this inning is low for ball 1, 1-0. Runners still in scoring position with 1 out. Salma's second one is high for ball 2. 2-0 count. Slama with the pitch. Blotz gets a swing on it to the shortstop. He'll throw over to first. I think the first baseman was off the bag. Yes, no, maybe so. No. So first baseman gets him out at first. It's another ground out RBI here for Elliot Blotz. As he is out number 2. He was out number 1 with an RBI. Now he's out number 2 with an RBI. And Aiden Palmer at the plate. He takes strike number 1. Slama. Second pitch is in there, chest high for strike 2. 0-2 count here to Aiden Palmer, and Slama trying to get out of this dreadful inning. I believe it's 12-0. I could be wrong, so just outside to Aiden Palmer, and now it's a 1-2 count. We'll wait and see for the scoreboard and see what they put up there, but I believe with that last run, it is 12-0 Pine City. Slama eager to get this inning over with. Here's the pitch. That's in there. It crosses the plate for strike number 3, and Palmer will go down looking. So the Dragons nearly bat through the order twice, but it ends with Aiden Palmer going down looking. He'll be the final out, and the Dragons' lead is over 10 runs here as we head to the top of the second inning, rather. We just got done with the first inning. Second inning coming up, and we'll take a quick, short commercial break. You're listening to Baseball on WCMP.
When you need an AC or furnace tune-up, Dale's Heating and Appliance is always clutch. Need financing on a new AC or furnace system? Dale's Heating and Appliance in Pine City is your closer. Dale'sHeatingandAppliance.com.
Avoid costly repairs on your AC or heating system by getting a tune-up from Dale's Heating and Appliance. Dale's is your hometown cooling and heating expert, servicing Pine City and surrounding areas. Visit Dale'sHeatingandAppliance.com today. Dale'sHeatingandAppliance.com.
Name dropping. Who does that anymore? John Deere, Toro, Gravely, Aaron's, all the top names are available and on site at Minnesota Equipment. Whether it's time to upgrade your zero-turn, walk-behind mower, or small utility tractor, the experienced team at Minnesota Equipment can put you in the machine that fits your needs. And the sale is just the start of the relationship at Minnesota Equipment. Highway 65 in Isanti or at minnesotaequipment.com.
Back here on WCMP 106.5 FM AM 1350 Dragons, I believe, with a 12-0 lead. Yes, 12-0 lead for Pine City. Here as we get set for the top of the second inning. Nick Plajek starting on the mound today for the Dragons. Had a 1-2-3 first inning after the first batter looked like he might walk or get a hit, but then Kyle McDonald went down looking. And then Graydon Swenson swung and hit a line drive right back at Nick Plajek, and he gloved it for out number 2, and then sent Dalton Slama, the pitcher for East Central, down looking as well. So already 2 strikeouts here for Nick Plajic as coming to the plate for the top of the second inning for the Eagles. It's going to be Reese Youngberg, their starting catcher. And Youngberg, he'll step on to the field and get ready to get into the batter's box. Youngberg in, Plajic gets set. Here's the windup and the pitch. Swung on and missed there by Youngberg, swinging at his shoelaces. If you're the Eagles right now, this is a tough situation to be in, but it's that ball goes outside for ball 1 to Youngberg. But this is a tough situation for the Eagles, but if you are the Eagles, it's also a good spot to learn from. It's a good spot to get your team in a position where you may be losing, but you got to preach that mental toughness and, sticking with it throughout the game, because you never know when your bats are going to get hot and go off. So you always got to stick with it. 12-0 lead for the Dragons, and a swing and a miss there by Youngberg. And he'll be the 3rd strikeout for Nick Plajic and the 1st out of inning number 2. So Reese Youngberg is the 1st out on a strikeout. Goes down swinging. Dylan Lundberg at the plate. He plays left field for the Eagles. He'll watch this one come just inside, but stays in the strike zone for strike number 1. He deals with an 0-1 count. That one's in there for strike 2. Lundberg not liking either one of the first 2 pitches he's seen so far, and now he deals with an 0-2 count. 1 down, 0-2, nobody on for East Central. He swings through that one and misses for strike number 2. Or for strike number 3, out number 2, rather. And now coming to the plate is the 3rd baseman, Eddie Rote. For East Central. Plajic trying to go 1-2-3, all strikeouts. Rote gets a piece of this one. It's a slow roller to the first baseman, Haas. He'll step on first for out number 3. So 1, 2, 3 go the Eagles. And we go to the middle of the second inning as we get ready for the bottom of the second inning. And in that top of the first inning, I'm getting so confused out here. In the bottom of the first, it was the Dragons putting up 12 points as they now hold that lead going in to this second inning. And, I suppose I can change what inning it is on the computer screen as well. That might help. I don't know, maybe. What do you guys think? 12-0 is the Dragon lead here over East Central. But again, like I said, if you're the Eagles, yeah, this is a tough spot to be in. It's not ideal. You don't want to be in this spot. It's morale-wise, it's even worse because your team is just sitting there thinking, oh my goodness, how are we going to come back? But this is, again, where you preach that mental toughness. You always preach you got to stick with it throughout the entirety of the game because, again, you just never know when your bats are going to get going and get hot, and then all of a sudden, now you're putting up, 5-6 runs in one inning and then come back and go and put up another 5-6 runs in another inning, and before you know it, you're back at either tied or with the lead. So the Eagles, you just got to stay patient, work on your craft here in this one, start perfecting it if you can in a way, because, again, you're down 12-0. Right now you have nothing to lose. There is nothing to lose right now. So right now, just work on, perfecting what you're doing out there and just giving everything you can. And again, if you're a coach, got to imagine it's right now it's, hey, we're down, but we still have a chance. It's only the second inning. They only need 3 runs to eliminate the 10-run rule by the 5th inning. So essentially they've got, the 3rd, the 4th, and the top of the 5th inning. So 3 more innings to work with to essentially eliminate that 10-run rule and try and come back in this one. So if you're East Central, there's plenty of time left. But again, just preaching that mental toughness, just sticking with it throughout the entirety of the game. And it's tough, especially in a spot like this where, you're down 12-0 after 1 inning. But again, Slama seemed to be getting better throughout the first inning. Again, even though he was still giving up some hits, he looked like he was getting better, looked like he was getting a little bit more confident. And I'm sure as a pitcher, confidence when you're giving up runs and hits is tough to come by. But it looked like he was at least getting somewhat more confident as the first inning went along. So now coming to the plate as the leadoff here in the second inning is Ethan Agard, Pine City's catcher. Slama with the windup and the pitch. Low and outside. It rolls to the backstop, and it'll be a 1-0 count now for Agard. Over on the softball field, not sure if it's still a doubleheader, but that's what it was supposed to be there for Pine City and East Central over on the softball field. They started that game again at 3:30, same as the baseball team. As this pitch to Agard is low for ball 2, but yeah, over on the softball field right now, the Pine City softball team is playing against East Central, another conference game going on over there, and sadly the middle of the innings do not last that long. Otherwise, I'd run over and try and catch the score over there, but they just do not last long enough to where I'm able to run out. I'm fast, but I'm not that fast. I don't think even Usain Bolt would be able to get over there and back in time. But either way, a high pitch there to Agard for ball 3. So 3-0 count, and probably getting a red light here swing-wise, and he doesn't even need to worry about it because it's low in the dirt for ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk for Ethan Agard as he heads on down to first. So for Slama, not the start of the second inning you wanted, as you get 4 pitches in a row that really weren't too close, but again, there you go. We'll come back with a one like that. That'll get the confidence shooting right back up if you're Slama. First pitch strikes to Luke Wilson. Wilson did have an RBI single in his last at-bat in the first inning. Slama trying to avoid that here. 1 on and nobody out. That one's going to cross the plate for a strike as well. Luke Wilson a little displeased with that call, but it is a strike. So nobody out and a runner on. First for the Dragons is Luke Wilson. Down 0-2 in the count. Slama trying to get something going for his team. That one's going to be low, but nice job by Youngberg to keep that ball in front of him. Does a good job blocking it to make sure the runner cannot advance from first. So it's a 1-2 count now for Wilson as Slama gets set. And here's the pitch. Swung on and tipped. Ooh, Wilson just got enough of a piece of it to tip it back to the backstop here in Pine City. And the backstop here in Pine City is relatively deep, so any ball that gets by, it's going to roll a ways. That's why, and that's how Pine City has scored a few of their runs already here today. But a 2-2 count, or excuse me, a 1-2 count after that one is fouled back by Wilson. Here's the pitch. That's going to be high. Makes it 2-2 for Luke Wilson. He's battled back from an 0-2 count. Slama gets set. He's got the runner over there on first. And here's the pitch. And he gets Wilson to swing and miss on that one. So Wilson goes down swinging for out number 1. And that is the first strikeout there for Slama. And if you're Slama, that's exactly what you needed. Kind of a comeback at bat right there. This one going to be low, and it's going to get past Youngberg. So a ball there for Mason Charles, and that will advance the runner Agard to second. So Charles will have a 1-0 count to deal with once the ball gets returned to the pitcher Slama, and he returns to the mound. So 1-0 count, that wind picking up just a little bit here in this at-bat. Slama gets set, here's the pitch. And that one is swung on and hit, but it's going to roll. It's going to bounce and roll down the third baseline. Foul. So now 1-1. And again, it has seemed like Slama has been getting more and more confident as the first inning went along. And here in the second inning, he got his first strikeout against Luke Wilson, so that definitely just boosts the confidence right away. He came back with a first pitch strike to Wilson after a 4-pitch walk to Agard, which is just huge. When you go and you walk a batter, especially to begin an inning with 4 straight pitches, especially after an inning like he had in the first, it's devastating. But then to come back on the very next pitch with the very next batter and throw a first pitch strike, that is huge for the confidence. Then you come back and throw 6 pitches and strike him out swinging. That just boosts your confidence even more as that one goes inside and Charles gets out of the way. That's going to be ball 2 now. So 2-1 count. That second pitch was tipped foul. Might be 3-1. I'm getting way too confused for the first game of the season. Charles swings, and he is going to strike out. So it was 2 strikes on him, and that's the second strikeout there for Slama. So Slama gaining a little bit more confidence as we go along and gets his second straight strikeout. First pitch there to Erickson is in for strike 1. A 1 count there to Bryce Erickson. 2 down and 1 on, runner on second. Here's the pitch. And Erickson gets a piece of that one. It's going to get by the first baseman and a base hit. And it's going to be turning into an RBI single for Erickson as the runner Agard comes home. So Erickson with an RBI single. And it makes it 13-0 in favor of the Dragons. Again, I believe that's the score. I could be wrong. My math is usually wrong. So if it is wrong, I apologize. But again, we all know my math. First pitch to Isaiah Haas is low and in the dirt. Bounces to Youngberg. He keeps it in front of him to keep Erickson at first. But it is ball 1. Haas, the senior, I'm assuming leader of this team, going and playing baseball next spring. And, I've seen where, but I don't remember where. So 1-1 count after a swing and miss there. Isaiah Haas. 2 down and a runner on first. Haas with the 1-1 pitch. It is in the dirt, gets away from Youngberg, and Erickson will advance to second on the ball that goes by. So 2-1 now for Erickson, for Haas. Erickson's on second. It's a 2-1 for Isaiah Haas, who, again, will be playing collegiate baseball next spring. And I saw where earlier towards the end of the winter season, but I forgot where. But I promise he is going to play, I promise. 3-1 count now for Haas as he lays off that ball high in the zone. That's a tough one to lay off of because he can get a little bit more on it, but lays off of it, and it's now a 3-1 count. Oh, Haas gets this one right back to the pitcher, and oh no, Slama, he took that one on the leg. Thankfully, we don't have the camera out there reaching him because, oh man, there was nothing he could have done. So Slama he could not get that glove down in time, sadly. We're going to take a commercial break and make sure he's all right.
Kettle River Pizza, the handcrafted pizza made locally in Ash Cove, Minnesota. Always the highest quality ingredients. Pizza that is consistently great tasting. A true crowd pleaser. 16 varieties to choose from. Enjoy the classics like pepperoni, pepperoni sausage and supreme, to the unique tastes of hot Hawaiian, taco, buffalo chicken, and chicken Alfredo. Pick some up at your local grocer, tavern, or convenience store. Handcrafted Kettle River Pizza. Moms and basketball players approved.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a 4-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
Did you know that Franzen Bank & Trust is a Minnesota-owned company? And they're one of the largest community banks around. That's a great combination. As a community bank, they're dedicated to their customers and the communities they serve. You might say they're big enough to help, small enough to care. Last March, they provided $20,000 in grants to 6 different Minnesota communities. They also processed well over 1,700 PPP loans, allowing local small businesses to keep their employees on the payroll during the pandemic. Franzen Bank & Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC.
back here on WCMP 106.5 FM, AM 1350. And with those, that's a line drive right back to the pitcher that he really couldn't do nothing about. That one was so low, and I don't even know if it even skipped off the ground, but it was such a low line drive at his shins. There was really nothing he could have done to prevent that one from hitting him. Luckily and gladly, he is up, and he is on his 2 feet. And, again, with those, you got to be careful because those could cause some fractures if they hit you just right. So, luckily, he is up, and he is on his own 2 feet. They're going to see if he can pitch. He is limping a little bit, but I'm sure that's going to be sore for a while. It's a little chilly, especially with that wind, so that one's going to sting for a little while. But the great news is that he is up and he is walking. He's able to pitch, and he's not severely injured after that line drive to him. And again, Haas was just swinging, trying to get on base, and nothing that Slama could have done about that one. It was just, he took it like a champ on his shin. Got to give him credit for that. There's a lot of guys who might be like, yeah, no, I'm done pitching now. I know I sure would. I wouldn't want to be out there after that happened. I'd be like, we need someone else now. Yeah, I'd prefer to be done. But Slama, again, showing off his toughness. And in a game like that, it's especially hard because down as much as they are, they could easily just go, let's just forget about it. And instead, he's showing off that toughness. He's showing his coach, Todd Lindstrom, that, hey, I'm good to go. I will stay in this thing. I will prove how tough I am. And you can bet he'll be showing his team what he can do and helping lead them with his toughness. So it was a single there for Isaiah Haas, and it advanced the runner on second to third. That was Erickson. So runners on the corners now, and it's a 1-0 count for Nick Plajic at the plate. Pitch from Slama is in there for strike one. 1-1 count now to Nick Plajic with runners on and 2 out. Runners on the corners and 2 out. On deck there, you can see Riley Cummings. Plajic swings and misses, and that ball will outside. It's going to roll back to the backstop, and it will advance Haas to second. And Erickson to third. So runners in scoring position, a 1-2 count for Nick Plajic. Kind of a half-hearted swing as that one was out of the zone. A good margin. Slama will get set. He's got 2 strikeouts already. Can he get a third? That one's going to get by and going to steam by. And the pass ball will be enough for Erickson to make his way home. And Haas will move to third. Plajic gets a hit, and it's going to roll foul down the third base line. Again, 14-0, I believe, is the score. I could be wrong. I guess we'll really find out come the 5th inning if this does stay this way and if the game ends after the 5th inning. But East Central still got plenty of time. Plajic gets just a piece of that one, fouls it back. I believe it's a 2-2 count still for Nick Plajic. He batted twice in that first inning. His first was a double, a 3-run double, and then a second he walked. Slama with the 2-2. And that one is swung on and hit down the left field line in for a base hit. It's an RBI single for Nick Plajic as Haas makes his way home. So RBI for Nick Plajic makes it 15-0. Two down, a runner on first for Riley Cummings. Cummings, I think, got just a piece of that one. Heard the ting of the bat. And it hits Youngberg in the chest protector. So 0-1 for Cummings. He also batted twice and hit a RBI double and a walk in that first inning. That was outside for ball 1. So it's a 1-1 count now for Cummings, and a much better inning here for Slama, even after taking that baseball to the shins. Ooh, Cummings thought about it, but he holds up there, and now it's a 2-1 count. That's tough to hold off there, but Cummings did a good job of holding off and makes it a 2-1. Runner on first, 2 out. That one's in the dirt. Nice job by Youngberg to keep that one in front of him. He thought he may have had it in his glove. That quick cloud of dirt passed by, and he was able to locate it to his right, but it was still in front of him enough to where no danger. Slama with the pitch. It's going to go over the head. Of Cummings. And he'll reach on a walk. So Plajic moves to second, Cummings to first. 2 down and 2 on. At the plate is Elliot Blotz. He hit 2 ground-out doubles, or 2 ground-out RBIs in that first inning, as that one's going to be in there for strike 1. And he looks over to the dugout in shock. He was shocked that one was a strike. He just looked over and just gasping. He was like, "Are you really? That one's going to be high." And looks at his coach to say, "Well, that one was a ball." So 1-1 now for Elliot Blotz. 2 on, 2 out. Blotz reaching low in the zone for that one, and it's going to roll foul. One, 2 now the count for Blotz. 2 on and 2 out. Here we go. Slama trying to get out of this inning with minimal damage. Only allowed 3 runs. That was going to be just high. 2-2 now. Slama. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled back by Blotz. $15-0 is the Dragon lead again. Could be wrong on the math, so I apologize if that is wrong. But from what I have, I believe it's 15-0. Just going to get over, and that'll make it a full count for Elliot Blotz. He will trade balls with the referee. The ump, I should say, not referee, the ump. Will Slama. Full count for Elliot Blotz. Runners on in scoring position. 2 on, 2 out. Full count for Blotz. Here's the windup and the pitch from Slama. Swung on and hit right back to Slama. It's going to get his glove, and he just kind of gets his shins out of the way that time, and I don't blame him. But that will be a RBI single there for Elliot Blotz. So the runner on third there is Cummings as Blotz hits the RBI single to bring home Plajic. And now at the plate is Aiden Palmer. We'll get a quick mound visit here. And while they take that mound visit, we'll take a commercial break.
Since 1967, Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley, has been where to go for all your building projects. Let Gerald Schmidt help you with designing, remodeling, or any new construction. Schmidt Construction specializes in residential home building, agricultural, industrial, and commercial buildings. With expert advice on all of your building projects and ideas, when you hire a contractor to take care of your building needs, you can't do better than Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley. 320-384-7901.
So it looks like we will see a new pitcher in the game for the Eagles. And it looks like Slama has moved to first, and it's going to be number 7 now at the pitching spot. So Dalton Slama has moved to first base, and the pitcher now going to be Kyle McDonald. I believe they had one more substitution. Or maybe Graydon Swenson moved too short. I think so. So I think the way it works is McDonald is that pitcher. I know that for sure. I think Dalton Slama's moved to first, and then it looks like maybe Graydon Swenson moved to short. And he did. So that is the defensive switches here for the Eagles. Slama went 1 2/3 innings. That one's in there for a strike from Kyle McDonald. And Slama picks up 2 strikeouts. Aiden Palmer gets a hit down the left field line. And that will be a hit there for Ethan Agard. Or, excuse me, Aiden Palmer. Wow. So Aiden Palmer gets an RBI single. And now it's Ethan Agard who watches that one for strike 1. Two on, 2 out for Ethan Agard, who has already been to the plate this half inning. As again, Kyle McDonald, the pitcher, coming in for Dalton Slama after 1 2/3 innings. He did get 2 strikeouts, but allowed 15 runs, and the Dragons just did score their 16th. Again, I want to preface that with saying my math could be wrong. You'd think it's simple addition, but it's harder than it looks, ladies and gentlemen. Harder than it looks. Runners wanted to advance, but they stay home. Well, stay at their respective bases. I guess can't say stay home when you've got home plate. First and second, 2 out. And swinging and missing on that one is Ethan Agard. I believe that's going to move it 2-2 now. 3-2 maybe? Kyle McDonald is 3-2, it looks like. McDonald gets this one. It's swung on and picked up by the third baseman, and he'll step on third for out number 3. So Ethan Agard grounds out for the third out, but the Dragons do get 4 more runs to cross here in this half of the inning. And we will head on over to the third inning here in Pine City, Minnesota, where the Dragons lead over conference foe East Central 16-0. We'll take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll begin the third inning here in Pine City. You're listening to Baseball on 106.5 FM, AM 1350, WCMP.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
When you need an AC or furnace tune-up, Dale's Heating and Appliance is always clutch. Need financing on a new AC or furnace system? Dale's Heating and Appliance in Pine City is your closer. Dale'sHeatingandAppliance.com.
Avoid costly repairs on your AC or heating system by getting a tune-up from Dale's Heating and Appliance. Dale's is your hometown cooling and heating expert, servicing Pine City and surrounding areas. Visit Dale'sHeatingandAppliance.com today. Dale'sHeatingandAppliance.com.
The Central Eagles will now come to the plate to bat. And it looks like we've got a new pitcher for Pine City as well. It'll be Bryce Erickson. It looks like, yes, it is. So Nick Plajic went 2 full innings. And as we take a look, he went 1, 2, 3, 4 strikeouts for Nick Plajic. Again, it's Bryce Erickson now on the mound. And it looks like Nick Plajic is behind the plate. Maybe. I'll double check. Yes. Could also be Manny Hernandez. I cannot see if that line connects from 6 to make it an 8. No, it looks like it's a 6. So Nick Plajic will go to center. Bryce Erickson will come to first base. And I'm guessing Ethan Agard maybe moved out to left for Erickson. I'm not really sure. So Erickson will come to the mound and show off his left arm talent. Now, trying to see that scoreboard way out there. I can't tell if it says 17 or 11. Close enough. Something like that. We're close, okay? We're close enough. Erickson gets the leadoff man here in the third inning for the Eagles to swing and miss on his second pitch. That is Tristan Wentworth. Or no, excuse me, Simon Eklund. There we go. That one is in there for strike 2 for Eklund. Simon Eklund playing center field for the Eagles. Swing and a miss, and it's a strikeout here for Bryce Erickson for out number 1. So out number 1 for Bryce Erickson, and that brings to the plate. Now it's Tristan Wentworth, who plays second base here for the Eagles, wearing number 3. Top of the third inning, and Erickson gets that one in there for strike 1. Wentworth shaking his head, didn't like that one, but he'll have more opportunities here, as here's the 1-0, or 0-1 rather. Now it's 1-1. One in there, just low, but it's still in there for strike number 2 from Bryce Erickson. So a 1-2 count for Tristan Wentworth, and he is trying to get something going for the Eagles. That one's just inside. It'll be ball 2. 2-2. Now the count. Two count. That one's low for ball 3. Full count now for Tristan Wentworth. We're in number 3. Three-two on the way. In there at the knees for strike number 3. And Wentworth will go down looking. And that'll be out number 2. And Erickson trying to make it quick work here in the bottom or top of the third. Looking for another 1-2-3 inning as Brennan Hammer comes to the plate. What a name, Brennan Hammer. Love it. And that will get him on the calf. And he just took it. I mean, he took it like he wanted to. Man, right in the shin. And he just trots on down to first like nothing happened. Impressive. So Brendan Hammer is hit by the pitch, and he'll be the first batter on base here for the Eagles. Now coming up to the plate will be pitcher, and was at shortstop, Kyle McDonald. So he'll step into the right-handed batter's box, and he was a little bit ill-prepared. I think he was getting ready mentally for his next appearance on the mound in this next half inning, as he'll take the first pitch for strike 1. Looks down to the third base coach. Says, all right, I got it now. I'm ready. 0-1 is his count. Swings through that one. Almost looked like a half-hearted swing like he wanted to go, but then halfway through he decided, that's not the pitch I want. Doesn't matter. It's 0-2 now. Erickson. That one's in there, and he's going to go down looking. Kyle McDonald goes down looking for the third out. It's a 1-2-3 inning, but they do sadly get the hit batter and Brendan Hammer. But we'll go to the bottom half of inning number 3. As I should mention, Nick Stewart was out there for the Pine City Dragons. We're getting ready for the ready. If I can speak English today, that would be nice at some point. We're getting ready for the bottom of the third inning, and again, the 10-run rule applies after 5 innings, and the Dragons would have to get through the top of the 5th inning with a 10-run lead in order for that to take place. But again, East Central still has that opportunity in the 4th and the top of the 5th inning to erase that and try and get something going. Leading off this bottom of the third inning will be Luke Wilson for the Dragons. I'm sure we'll see a little bit of a lineup change here as well. As again, as I mentioned before, Nick Stewart was out there in the field this last half inning for the Dragons. They lead, I think it's 16-0. It's between 17 and 15-0. It's one of those two. Either way, Pine City does have the lead. It's one of those three numbers, 15, 16, 17. Who knows? It's the first baseball game of the season that we've called, ladies and gentlemen. Cut some slack, maybe just a little. I'm not asking for a lot, but it is math, and math is hard. So all I'm asking for is a little slack, just a little bit. Either way, the Dragons do have the lead. Oh, it feels like a Monday more than a Tuesday. It is beautiful weather, though. I just looked, and we're sitting at about 60, 61 degrees right now. But that wind, man, that wind is whipping out here today. It's really brutal, if I'm honest. Sitting at about 60 degrees, but that wind has got to be about when it gusts. That gusts are probably 25 miles an hour, maybe even reaching 30. I mean, it's there's a breeze out there, but when it gusts, man, it gusts. Put some gusto behind it? No, that was terrible. Sorry. I tried. Maybe I should save that one for Joshua Miron in the morning, maybe. That's a Joshua Miron joke, I think. Bottom of the third inning, just about to get started with Luke Wilson, the leadoff batter. Luke Wilson had a fantastic basketball career for the Dragons. Sadly, it ended a little bit earlier than they wanted. It was a great battle against Annandale, but it came up just short, and I mean just short. It was tough, so 1-0, and now the 1-0 pitch is swung on and hit right to center field, and the center fielder catches it. He has to go down to a knee, but he makes the catch, so Luke Wilson gets a hold of that one. But it's a fly out to center. And he'll be the first out. So Luke Wilson getting a piece of that one, but he is the first out, and the first pitch here to Mason Charles is low in the dirt for ball one. Mason Charles has appeared at the plate in every inning, including twice in that first inning. So this is fourth at-bat already in the third inning. He gets a piece of that one out to left center, and the center fielder's on it again, goes down to a knee, but he makes the catch for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Dragons. And now coming to the plate, the left-handed batter, Bryce Erickson, trying to get something going for them. They really don't need too much more to go, but Erickson will watch that one go in the dirt for ball one, and then it gets behind the catcher, Youngberg. (1-0) for Erickson. Here's the pitch. That's going to be high for ball 2. (2-0) count now for Bryce Erickson. Again, it is Kyle McDonald on the mound for East Central. Here's the windup in the pitch. That one's going to be swung on and hit right towards the second baseman. He can't get it in time. Throw to first. Going to be bouncing, and it will not get there in time. So the second baseman had a hard time getting to it and picking it up, and even though he struggled with that, he still had the throw in time. It just was a little bit off the mark. So a single there for Bryce Erickson with 2 down. 2 down and 1 on for Pine City. It's Isaiah Haas at the plate. He's on his fourth at-bat. He's 2 for 2. Walk in his first at-bat. Watches this one go by for strike number 1. Walked his first time, then hit a double for an RBI. He had a RBI single in last inning, and now he sits as this one goes in the dirt for ball 1, and it's a 1-1 count now here in the bottom of the third. 1-1 pitch on the way. Haas gets a piece of, oh my goodness, right back up the middle, and the pitcher does everything he can just to get out of the way. Woo. That one was a quite literal ankle breaker coming for Kyle McDonald, but luckily he jumped out of the way. Thank goodness, but Haas is on with his third hit of the game in 4 appearances. Of course, he walked in his first appearance, so. Erickson at second and now to the plate. Nick Plajic, he'll swing and hit this one down the third base line for another base hit. Bases are loaded with 2 down. And now coming to the plate is Riley Cummings. He's 1 for 1. He walked twice and had a RBI double in the first inning. Bases loaded as Cummings will take that one just outside for ball 1. 2 down, and the Dragons hit 3 base hits in a row. Now with the bases loading with 2 down, Cummings watches that one cross the plate for strike 1. That one's in the dirt. It's going to roll past. Will the Dragons send a runner? They will not. A little bit too close there. And again, with a lead like this, you don't really need to send him. By the way, coming up after Riley Cummings is going to be number 23, Nick Stewart. Just outside. You could tell Cummings kind of wanted that one, but held off. That one's high for a ball 4. So that will walk home a run, sadly, for the Eagles. Runners advance. Still bases loaded. And it's Nick Stewart coming to the plate for Pine City. Nick Stewart, number 23, at the plate now. With bases loaded and 2 out. It's a good swing on this one, and it is down for a base hit. Bring 1 run home, 2 runs home, and it's a 2-run single for Nick Stewart. So a 2-run single for Nick Stewart. And you've got runners on first and second, still with 2 out, as Aiden Palmer's at the plate. Aiden Palmer with now a 2-0 count. And he gets a good piece of that one. It's a fly ball to left field, but it's going to go foul. On deck for the Pine City Dragons after Aiden Palmer, it's going to be Milo Eggert in place of Ethan Agard. Milo Eggert wearing number 11. That one's in there for a strike. Aiden Palmer, 2-2 now his count. 2 on, 2 out. Palmer gets a piece of this one, fouls it back, and it will be out of play. Still holding on to a 2-2 count. Kyle McDonald on the mound, trying to get out of this inning. That one's ball. Full count. Looks like 3 runs have come across the board here for Pine City. And he will walk down to first. Will Aiden Palmer. So bases loaded once again for Milo Eggert. Steps out of the way of the first pitch, and it's in the dirt for ball 1. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Bases are loaded. I was going to say full bases. That's not what it's called. It's bases are loaded. That one's outside for ball 2, so an 0-2 count here early on to Milo Eggert. Or Milo. I hear his teammates saying Milo, but I think it's Milo. I could be wrong. Ooh, inside. He says it didn't hit him. The ump was pretty emphatic that it did, and he says, no, it didn't. He wants to stay in and get his at-bat. Milo. That one's in there for strike one. So he, after getting a call hit by pitch, and then he says, no, it didn't, he gets to stay, and he takes strike one. He wants to get his at-bat in. It's low in the dirt, so that will be a walk. So Milo will walk down to first. It will walk home a run. That's Riley Cummings. Base is still loaded and still 2 out, and it's Luke Wilson who's at the plate. He and Mason Charles both flew out in the beginning of this inning, and that one's going to get down. Well, if they want to, it probably could have sent more than one, but they will just hold the runners. It's bases loaded, 2 outs again, and Luke Wilson with an RBI single. And now it's Mason Charles. Still 2 down. 5 have come to the plate now for Pine City. That one's in there for strike one to Mason Charles. Oh, 0-1 the count. McDonald. This one's going to be high, and I think it might hit us. Nope. Oh, and almost. Getting it again is Youngberg, but just really the wind, once it gets so high up, you can't track it real well. And, I mean, as it's coming down, it's probably spinning, twirling, tumbling every which way, and there's really no good way to kind of track it and get it into your glove. And that's the second time that has happened to him. And, I mean, give him credit for even getting as close as he did, because, my goodness, that is extremely, I don't even know if, big leaguers could have caught that one. I mean, the wind out here, especially in the open field that we're at, it is just moving that thing around. Again, Mason Charles gets this, right back at the pitcher. He luckily gets out of the way. But it's going to be an RBI single that brings home Aiden Palmer. So an RBI single for Mason Charles, and now it brings to the plate Bryce Erickson, the left-handed batter. And well early on that one is Erickson. He saw it, got a piece of it, but fouls it off down the first base line for 0-1. He's at 22-0. And now 23 as another run comes home. Let's see. Bases loaded, still 2 out, as now it's Isaiah Haas at the plate. Erickson, an RBI single. Isaiah Haas at the plate, his second time around. So this is the second inning in which the Dragons are going through the lineup twice. Yeah, I would say the lead's 23-0, but I'm not sure on my math, so we'll stick with Dragons are leading. And the bottom of the third. Donald, this one, Isaiah Haas swings, gets it down the left field line. It's out of play, foul. McDonald trying to get out of this inning. That one's going to bounce past Youngberg. Dragons will not send anybody. They, again, don't really need to. They are leading in this one, so no need to really add on. But you never know. Could the Eagles go and get 11 runs here in these next 2 innings and then come out and get 5 or 6 in the next one? Maybe. Oh, left that one high up in the zone, and Haas is going to crush those 10 out of 10 times. It's an RBI single for Haas again. His second time through. 24-0. Bottom of the third inning, and Nick Plajic hits this one out to right field. It's going to beat the right fielder. Gets down for a base hit, and it will just be an RBI single. They won't bother sending anybody. Plajic drilled that one. 25-0. Riley Cummings at the plate, and he, not that long ago, just crossed the plate for a score. Now he's right back out there to swing. Takes this one high for ball one. Wanted to go around on that one, but wisely holds off, does Cummings, and now it's a 2-0 count. One's going to not really make it to the plate. It's going to be hitting in the batter's box for a 3-0 count now. So Cummings sits with a 3-0 count. Low for strike one. That one crossed in the strike zone for strike one. And, hitting the ump out there at second. He's okay. It looked like it got him in the lower leg. He's up and okay. It's going to be another RBI single here for the Dragons. Maybe a 26-0 or something like that. Nick Stewart back at the plate. He hit a 2-run single his last time at the plate. This one's in there for strike one to him. That one's in there for strike two. So now McDonald ahead 0-2. Let's see what he tries to do here to end the inning. It's been, the Dragons have scored, 10 runs with 2 out. This one is lifted high into left field foul territory, but it is caught for the out, and that'll be out number 3. So finally, the Eagles end this third inning, but give up a plethora of runs, and we will head to the top of the fourth inning with the Dragons leading by a bunch. I'm not really sure how many, but a bunch in the 20s. Well, we'll take a commercial break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Baseball on WCMP.
Name dropping. Who does that anymore? John Deere, Toro, Gravely, Aaron's, all the top names are available and on site at Minnesota Equipment. Whether it's time to upgrade your zero-turn, walk-behind mower, or small utility tractor, the experienced team at Minnesota Equipment can put you in the machine that fits your needs. And the sale is just the start of the relationship at Minnesota Equipment. Highway 65 in Isanti or at minnesotaequipment.com.
Kettle River Pizza, the handcrafted pizza made locally in Ash Cove, Minnesota. Always the highest quality ingredients. Pizza that is consistently great tasting. A true crowd pleaser. 16 varieties to choose from. Enjoy the classics like pepperoni, pepperoni sausage and supreme, to the unique tastes of hot Hawaiian, taco, buffalo chicken, and chicken Alfredo. Pick some up at your local grocer, tavern, or convenience store. Handcrafted Kettle River Pizza. Moms and basketball players approved.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a 4-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
Did you know that Franzen Bank and Trust is a Minnesota-owned company? And they're one of the largest community banks around. That's a great combination. As a community bank, they're dedicated to their customers and the communities they serve. You might say they're big enough to help, small enough to care. Last March, they provided $20,000 in grants to 6 different Minnesota communities. They also processed well over 1,700 PPP loans, allowing local small businesses to keep their employees on the payroll during the pandemic. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC.
Top of the fourth inning, just about set to get started. Dragons lead by a lot. It's going to be a new pitcher, too. It's Riley Cummings on the mound now for the Dragons as we start this fourth inning. And that one is low for ball one from Cummings. So, again, 2 innings pitched by Nick Plajic. He got 4 strikeouts. 1 inning for Bryce Erickson. He got 3. Went 1, 2, 3. And then now Riley Cummings is in to begin the fourth inning. And when you're leading like this, you don't really need your starting pitcher out there a lot, so he can come back and pitch the next day. Again, it's according to the MSHSL rules, I believe were updated in 2020. Looking at the rules, it is days of rest. We'll watch this one go in there for strike number 2 for Kyle McDonald. No. Graydon Swenson. There we go. But if Plajic only threw about 30 pitches, he is able to come back and pitch tomorrow if he'd like, if they had a game tomorrow. So he could pitch Thursday. But a swinging strikeout there for Graydon Swenson. The ball winds up in the ground, but it's a strikeout no less. And 1 down. As again, Riley Cummings is on the mound. Graydon Swenson, and now Dalton Slama at the plate. Cummings, windup, and the pitch. In there. Strike 1. Beautiful looking pitch there. So yes, batter or pitcher-wise, if you throw about 1 through 30, you're able to come back the next day. But if you throw 30 to 50, you have to have at least 1 day of rest. So won't be able to pitch till Thursday. But if you have 51 to 75, you have to rest 2 days. So that'd be technically 3 because they don't count the day after. It's not 24 hours. It's a calendar day. And Slama gets a piece of this one and thrown on to first, and he is out at first. So Slama got a piece of it, but he is out for out number 2. And now it's Reese Youngberg coming to the plate for East Central. Continuing on, though, if you pitch over 70, 76 and over, you have to have at least 3 days of rest. So you can only pitch 105 in one outing. Don't think we'll see anybody pitching that here anytime soon. It does change, though, come playoff time to 115 for your daily max, which that's when you see the aces and starters come out. Swung on and missed there by Reese Youngberg, and Riley Cummings looking to make it another 1-2-3 inning. Just missing with that one is Cummings, and won't end the inning with that one. Cummings with the windup and the pitch. Payoff pitch is there. Oh, it's 2-2. I thought he had 2 strikes already. Wow. So that's 2-2 now. Youngberg's done a good job here with this at-bat, working the pitch count a little bit. So it's a 2-2 count. Cummings. Oh, that one stays on top of the zone for ball 3. A full count now to Reese Youngberg. He's struck out once. Swing and a miss there on that one for out number 3. 1-2-3 once again for the Pine City Dragons. That time it was Riley Cummings getting it done on the mound. We'll move on to the bottom of the 4th inning. Dragons leading by a lot. Not really sure again what the score is, but Dragons are leading by plenty. So this one will probably end early here in the 5th inning. Originally it was supposed to be 2 5-inning games, a doubleheader. Sadly, though, East Central only able to bring 9 down, so Fortunately, they were only able to play one here today, but again, you still are able to get out and play. That's got to feel good to be able to get out and play after the long winter we've had. It's been, I'm sure it's been frustrating for coaches. You know, they've had to not only not play, but they've also had to have practice inside all this time. So I'm sure it has been not easy, and it's probably been a little bit frustrating because there's only so much you can do indoors practice-wise. So I'm sure it's been a long time coming for these teams that they're able to not only, again, get outside, but just get outside of the gym, be able to play on the actual field. And I see Mr. Lindstrom talking to the umps over there. Not sure the conversation. So does the 10-run rule come in after the next inning? Or is that what he's talking to them about? I'm not really sure. We've only... I'm not going to speculate as to what's going on, but Kyle McDonald isn't on the mound yet. He just got a word from Lindstrom. Not sure what the conversation is now that umpires are talking to Ted Haas, coach for Pine City. Yeah, not sure the conversations here. And it may not be anything important. It may they're just having a conversation. Boys tennis is hosting Aiken today. So a lot going on here at Pine City High School. We've got baseball going on. We've got softball going on in the other field. We've got tennis right behind me. Track-wise, are they running today? It might be today. They might be. Where were they today? Oh, geez, now I can't remember. You'd think, oh, it was the morning show. You should be able to remember. It wasn't that long ago. Well, it feels like it. Yeah, but conference track meet today for East Central, Bram, Hinckley-Finlayson, Mille Lacs, Ogilvie, Pine City, and Rush City. I want to say it was at Rush, but I know that's wrong. Well, here we go. Bottom of the fourth inning, leadoff is Aiden Palmer. He steps in front of it. He has to, that pitch goes behind him. So stepping out of the way of that one, it's 1-0 count. That one's in there for strike one from Kyle McDonald. Stepping over that one. It's Palmer. It's a 2-1 count. That one stays high for ball 3. 3-1 count now to Aiden Palmer. But again, it's actually been a beautiful day. The wind was just nasty earlier. It's the gusts haven't been great, but it's gotten better. A nice pitch there, but it's just outside, and that'll be a 4 or 5 pitch walk rather for Aiden Palmer. And now Milo Eggert at the plate. Swinging on the first pitch, he fouls it off. Milo gets a piece of this one and fouls it back. So an 0-2 count. That one just a little bit outside to Eggert for ball 1. 1-2 is the count. That one's in there for strike 3, and Eggert will go down looking for out number 1. So he was a little bit fooled on that one. It's inside. He goes down looking. Now at the plate is Luke Wilson. That one goes low for ball 1. One out, runner on first for Pine City. They lead by plenty. Luke Wilson gets a piece of that one, and it's going to get down for a base hit. So Luke Wilson, a base hit there, and advances Palmer to second. Now at the plate is Mason Charles. McDonald with the pitch. Charles swings and misses on that one. Oh, 1 the count for Charles. That one's going to be inside for ball 1. One count, and this one is swung on and lifted well high into the air. And the second baseman gets under it in time for out number 2. So we fly out there for Mason Charles. And now Bryce Erickson to the plate, the left-handed batter. That one's in there to Erickson for strike number 1. 2 on, 2 out. And the last time this happened, Pine City went off for about 10 more runs to be exact. Erickson gets a piece of that one. Do not see where it landed, but it's down for a base hit. So Bryce Erickson with the single. Got runners on every single bag. It's full. Bases are loaded with Isaiah Haas at the plate. Talk about a guy who can really empty the bases with one swing. It's this young man, Isaiah Haas. It's high for ball 1. In there for strike 1 at the letters. One count now for Isaiah Haas. That one's low for ball 2. And we've seen his patience at the plate before, whether it's here with the Dragons or with the Hinckley Knights. He has been able to be patient at the plate and not, swing on stuff just because the count is not in his favor or got a 3-0. He does a really good job there. It's up in the zone again, and he'll walk to first. And because of that walk, it brings home a run. Bases will still be loaded for Nick Plajek. That makes it 27-0. That one's going to be outside. Dragons won't send anybody. Again, with this big of a lead, you really don't need to. So 1-0 going to be the count for Nick Plajek. Plajek gets a swing on this one, but it's going to be fouled down the left base line, or left field line, left base. I guess depending on which way you're looking at it, it could be a left base, but it's the left field line. Low for ball 2. 2-1 now to Plajek. Swung on and hit out to left field. Is this one high enough? And it gets down. Oh my, it gets down for a hit. So Plajek is in with a single. That'll bring home another run. I believe that'll shorten the inning or either end it. So it looks like that will be it here in this one. No. No. It is not going to be it. Looks like we will play on. So I'm not sure. I believe the 10-run rule comes in after the 5th inning. So if Pine City doesn't give up, would it be 19 runs here? Game might be over. We'll wait and see, though. Dragons do lead by a lot here as we go into the 5th inning. This is the 5th inning, which could be the final. We'll have to wait and see. Fifth inning, just about to get started. While we wait, we'll take a quick commercial break. Here, word from our fine sponsors. Listen to baseball on WCMP.
Since 1967, Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley, has been where to go for all your building projects. Let Gerald Schmidt help you with designing, remodeling, or any new construction. Schmidt Construction specializes in residential home building, agricultural, industrial, and commercial buildings. With expert advice on all of your building projects and ideas. When you hire a contractor to take care of your building needs, you can't do better than Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley. 320-384-7901.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
106.5 FM, AM 1350, the site for today's baseball game where the Pine City Dragons are leading over the East Central Eagles. You see the score 28-0. That may not be officially official, maybe 1 or 2 points off, but runs, I should say. But it is a wide lead for the Dragons here in this one, and depending on what happens, this could be it. Fifth inning of action set to get started with Mason Charles on the mound. This one is swung on. It's a slow roller back to Mason Charles. Throw on to first is not going to be in time. So the Eagles break up the combined no-hitter. So getting just enough of that one was Dylan Lundberg for the slow roller back to the mound, and it's enough for a base hit. That one's in there for strike one, though, to Eddie Rote. So nobody out and a runner on here for East Central. It's not the first time they've had a runner on, but it's the first time they've gotten a hit here today. Getting a piece of that one, looking to turn the double play, and not going to be able to. Or did they? They did. So they do get the double play. Wow. Double play. Didn't look like they were going to be able to get it there in time, but nice arm there by the second baseman to get it to first, and then the throw on to first was caught just before the runner got there. So 2 down after a base hit breaks up the combined no-hitter, and it's Simon Eklund, the last hope for East Central. That one's inside. Ball one. just outside, ball 2. Again, it's Mason Charles coming in. The pitchers so far have looked like this. Nick Plajic, 2 innings, 4 strikeouts. Bryce Erickson, 1 inning, 3 strikeouts. Riley Cummings, 1 inning, 2 strikeouts. Will they go 4-3-2-1? Can Mason Charles get a strikeout here? That one's going to be just outside. 3-1. Got a piece of this one. It's a roller back to Charles. Throw on to first in time for out number 3. So that will be it, and the Dragons get the victory here by a lot. By a lot. We'll say a lot. It's 28-0, something like that. But that is going to do it here today, folks. Taking a look at the stat sheet real quick. It's hard to pick a player of the game. It was a tough one here for East Central. But again, bringing only 9. It's tough. It's tough, but they can only get better from here on out, and a game like this will surely help them figure out some things and shows them the toughness that they can have. Their starting pitcher, Dalton Slama, got hit by a pitch and then came out and finished his outing there. But he went 1 2/3 inning, and his teammate Kyle McDonald went 3 1/3. And he let's take a look. So he grabbed, one. Oh no, that would have been. So thinking in my head, he grabbed 1 strikeout. They combined for 3 strikeouts in those 4 innings pitched, and they only got that 1 hit. For Pine City, they combined for, 9 strikeouts here in this one. Nick Plajic had 4-3 for Erickson, 2 for Cummings. Plajic pitched 2 innings, 1 for Erickson, Cummings, and Charles. Charles, I don't want to say allowed a hit, because he didn't really allow a hit. It was more or less just a slow-rolling ball that unfortunately didn't get to him in time. And that's what led to the lone hit of the game, which broke up the combined no-hitter. But either way, the Pine City Dragons win by a lot. You had Mason Charles, who was, 1 for 3 in this one. 1 for 4, rather. Bryce Erickson, he had a pretty good outing as well. He was 4 for 4, rather, and he walked in his first at-bat. Isaiah Haas, no surprise, he was 2 for 2. He walked twice, had an RBI. Nick Plajic, he was 3 for 3 with a walk. He had an RBI as well. A couple of RBIs in there. Looks like about 5 for him. Then Riley Cummings, he was 2 for 2 with 3 walks and an RBI, 2 RBIs plus a steal. Elliot Blotz, he went, 1 for 3, but he had 2 groundouts that led to an RBI in that first inning. He had another RBI, so 3 RBIs total for him. Aiden Palmer, he was 1 for 1, 3 walks, also an RBI. 3 RBI there in the first. Ethan Agard, he technically walked his every at-bat, except he grounded out in that second inning, so 0 for 1 there, but he walked, did a good job. And then 0 for 2 from Milo Eggert, or 0 for 1 because he struck out and walked once. I'm still getting the hang of it, folks. I promise. By midseason, well, it is technically our midseason, but by the time midseason game-wise comes around, I promise I'll be a lot better than Luke Wilson. He went 3 for 4 here in this one. He struck out once and flew out once, so technically 3 for 5, but he did have 2 RBIs in the game. So it's something like a 28-0 win here for the Pine City Dragons after a certain point. It doesn't matter too much because you're leading, and unfortunately there for East Central. 9 guys, it was tough, but they battled hard and they fought through the entire thing and never gave up, and that's what you want to see out of your team. So for East Central, it is a tough loss here for them, but again, you can only get better. You can only learn about your team from this point on and only can see what you can do to be better. For Pine City, it's the 6th win on the season. They moved to 6-1 overall. And I believe their next game will be on Thursday here in Pine City. While we take a look at the schedules here for both of these teams, according to MinnesotaScores.net for Pine City. Looks like, their next game will be here next Tuesday, apparently, at home against Ogilvie. And then for East Central, their next game, according to MinnesotaScores.net, will be Thursday at home against Mille Lacs. For WCMP, I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman. I want to thank all the fine sponsors who sponsored this broadcast. I want to thank all of you for tuning in. Thanks so much for tuning in here this afternoon. The Pine City Dragons get the victory here over the East Central Eagles, and a big win at that. It ends after 5, about a 28-0 win for Pine City. Thanks to all of you for tuning in. Remember to be kind to everyone. You never know what someone is going through, and your kindness could make their day. Once again, the final, Pine City about 28, Eagles nothing. The Dragons get the victory after 5 innings. For WCMP, I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman. Don't forget to stay tuned to the morning shows on KBEK and WCMP for your local sports update, plus some regional sports. We'll also recap the games that happened in the local area as well. The final, once again, 28-0, Pine City over East Central. For